Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer, and of course you're here at NarcShield. If this is your first time arriving, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I do talk about narcissistic abuse, and I am a narcissistic abuse survivor. I also appreciate if you've been riding along this journey with me already, and if you haven't subscribed already, I hope that you will subscribe and click the bell button next to that so that you will get alerts too when I post new videos. I'm actually knocking out a few tonight and going to post them for you guys. I wanted to talk to you in this video about when the narcissist breaks up with you. So when you are Googling about narcissistic abuse, you will see the cycles of abuse, and that is going to be in the terms of, oh, it is still going. Okay, I thought it stopped. I was like, what? That's going to be in terms of like the idealization phase, or they're going to call it the love bombing phase, the golden period. So there's different names for it. And then there's the devaluation phase. And then they call it the discard phase comes next. And HG Tutor actually calls it the disengagement. So, you know, you're going to learn different things from different people when you hear about narcissistic abuse and go to different channels, but all of it pretty much comes in and is a lot the same. HG Tutor gives a lot more information just because he is a narcissist, and so he is given it from the perspective of the narcissist. So I am here as someone who has been a victim of narcissistic abuse, and so my channel is basically giving information from my perspective as well. So when you have been discarded, and the reason I'm talking about this tonight is because I have had so many calls about this, and every year it seems like right before World Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day, I start getting a flood of people contacting me, and I think it's because I start posting even more to my normal social media pages, and people will talk to me about relationships that they've been in. And a lot of times they do sound toxic in nature, and it could be that they've been in a narcissistic abusive relationship and they have gone through the cycles, because I recognize it sometimes. So one of the things that people really have the hardest time with is that breakup, that discard. Because they're like, how is it that they have moved on already? They're posting all over social media that they're like with this other person. They've already put that they're in a relationship with them. They're posting all these happy pictures. They're talking about they're going on all these vacations and out to dinners. And I mean, it's just post. They look so happy. They're all over town. Everybody sees them. Everybody's congratulating them on how happy they are. And here I sit eating my bonbons, getting fat and feeling like crap about myself, crying. I'm speaking on if you're a girl or whatever, and not all girls do this, but I mean, you're really torn up and upset about this relationship because you didn't even know that it was going to happen. You have been trying to hold the relationship together. You wanted the relationship to work, and you thought that you were working on it. And the next thing you know, you've been discarded as if you were trash. It feels just like that. It feels like trash. It feels like they have wiped their dirty, muddy feet on you, kicked you around a little bit, tossed you out to the curb, and turned and walked away without even thinking twice about it. As you sit and ponder how you've tried to work so hard on this relationship and make it work with them, and how could they do this? Who is this person that they're with? How did they, I don't understand how they could just go out and date that quick. Well, if you listened to my last video that was talking about sources of supply, you will understand that most likely, I'm going to go with 99.9% of the time, they have already been working on replacing you, because they've been talking to people all along. If they're a narcissist, while they are dating you, they are texting people, they are talking to people, they're meeting people, they are doing things behind your back, and you just don't know it. You might sometimes wonder You may even question because they may not be doing things with you like they normally did, or you might be in a devaluation period where they're being really nasty to you, but being really great to that other person that has not taken your place yet. But let's go ahead and talk about when they have taken your place. I know that you're upset. This is one of the most painful things that you can possibly go through. I mean, it's as if a death occurred. A death you mourn, you think about the good times that you had with someone, you go through the mourning process. This is a death and they're still alive. And you never got closure. They just left you and jumped in and started a life with someone else as if they didn't skip a beat. And you are like, how did this happen? Well, it happened because they were already talking to someone. You'll have people say, oh, they didn't cheat on you. They just happened to go out and they met each other and it was love at first sight. Yeah. These people were gaslit by the narcissist too. No, the narcissist was definitely talking to somebody else. If someone moves on that quick anyway, that's not healthy. When I really don't do a whole lot of this dating stuff because I've only dated a few people since I was even divorced years ago. And only a couple of them really were even significant to even talk about. But that had any length of time is what I mean. But if they're moving on super, super fast, that's a red flag for me. So if I'm dating and somebody says to me, I'd like to take you out, Jennifer, so how long have you been divorced, or when was your last girlfriend? Oh, it was, we broke up 2 weeks ago or last weekend. And you're like, I don't want to go out with you. I don't want to go out with you. I don't want to go out with you if you're separated. I don't want to go out with you if you're still talking to your ex at all, other than just trying to take care of, maybe the legalities of things, or, the kids, the normal things that you do with your ex. But if you're like blowing up the ex's phone all the time, talking about them all the time to me, that kind of thing. I don't want to go out with you. You're not ready. And that's normal. So if you see them posting all this stuff on social media, or their friends are coming to you and telling you things, or your friends have seen them out and they look like they're having the time of their life and they're traveling, they're going to be doing all the things that you wanted to do with them. And you're going to be like, they would never do this stuff with me. I begged. I worked so hard to save money to even get them to go and do this with me. And then they just always made excuses. And every single thing that was on my list that I wanted to do with them, they're doing with this other person. They do this on purpose. You're in devaluation. They know that this will tear you to pieces and they think it's fantastic. They love it. It is such a dose of narcissistic supply. They don't even have to see you crying. All they got to do is post that picture, post the video, have the party, and have all the people around, knowing that it's going to get back to you. And just knowing that and envisioning how that's going to make you feel is narcissistic supply for them. Fuel. It is something that makes them feel fantastic to know that you are so beat up and upset. They want you to feel like you are nothing to them. Because really, you're not. You were just an appliance who now is failing them. And so they're letting you know they have a shiny new toy. And the new toy is working properly. And had you been working properly, you would still be here. And you would be doing these trips or getting whatever, going to these types of parties, or you would be getting the birthday thing that you always, whatever it is that you really kind of always wanted or whatever, they're going to do with this other person. And they know that it hurts you. And the sad thing is that the other person doesn't realize that they're just being used to hurt you. And that's what it is. And it's wrong. It's using people, but that's what narcissistic people do. So this new person in the beginning is being used to hurt you, and you are feeling like crap and wondering why in the heck it all happened. Sometimes it will trigger you to try to beg the narcissist back and hope to get them back. You will look at the new source of supply and be like, it could be somebody that literally is the complete opposite of you. And you are like, this is somebody that they've always been unattracted to people who had short hair. They always told me they couldn't stand people that were curvy or super skinny or whatever, or they couldn't stand somebody that smoked or somebody that drank hard liquor and partied all the time. And then that's who they're with, and you're like, what? It doesn't matter what they look like. They're just being used. They are fuel. They are narcissistic supply, basically, and they are being used to be plastered all over social media to hold up the facade and make that narcissist look like, oh, I finally got away from crazy. That person made me so unhappy, and look how happy I look now. So they're using the new supply to make them look good. Also, it helps that it hurts you and leaves you in disbelief. And who cares that it might hurt family members like parents, grandparents, kids, animals? It doesn't matter. What matters is how the narcissist is feeling. And they're feeling quite fantastic right now. They've got you crying for them. They've got the new supply all, doting on them. They have everybody else wishing them, all the happiness in the world and telling them how great and fantastic they look. And they realize that the facade is upheld and you look like the crazy person that's sitting around crying or whatever it is that you do to mourn. You're trying to defend yourself. It's really best not to do all of that. But they know all of that, and they're loving every single bit of it. They don't care that you are hurting. They don't care. You might think that they will care. And if you can just talk to them, if you could just say, can we please work on this? I love you and I want you to come back and I want us to work on this. All you're doing is giving them supply, and they don't care. You aren't working for them. The new person sees them as perfect and shiny and new as well, and singing their praises, and doesn't see anything wrong with them and isn't judging them at all. And they like that feeling. But so they're getting the positive fuel from the new partner that's been brought into your place, and they're getting negative supply fuel from you because you are upset, angry, like maybe even saying, oh my gosh, you've done this, and whatever, you're not seeing them in a good light anymore. And so they see you as treacherous, and boop, you're gone. So it's terrible. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing to go through. I saw on one of the forums where somebody was like, why do I want to go back when I know this person has treated me so bad? I have talked about that. It's because you've been trauma bonded and you're just conditioned this way. It is a chemical process that is going through your body. And when you are seeing certain things, you can have triggers. And so CPTSD is so difficult, and I hope that you will Google that and try to understand that a little bit, because you may be somebody who has CPTSD, and it's real, and the triggers are real, and you're going to go through a wave of emotions. And because it's a chemical process that's going on in your body where you've been trauma bonded to someone, one minute you can feel one way and the next feel another. It does kind of feel like you're crazy, and the narcissist really does enjoy the fact that you are off balance. They love to make you unstable so that they can point the finger at you and point out all your flaws. So it's like they've dumped all their ugly onto you, and they've taken on all your shiny good stuff, and they're pretending that that's them, and they've moved along and they've made you look like the crazy, worthless piece of crap person that they feel about themselves deep down. Those are the demons that they carry, and that's why they need constant fuel, narcissistic supply to keep those demons at bay. That's why they need the contrast. That's why they constantly are bored. They don't like to sit around and eat bonbons and be lazy. They need to be busy and out and about all of the time because they may not even realize it, but they need constant fuel to feel good about themselves. I hope that helps. Until next time, see ya.